Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's almost afternoon for yous. Happy Monday. Hopefully, we are all feeling good. Leo's in the background in his pants. This is the Ma life at its finest, with fucking towers and all that in the background. Anyway, this is a presentation on how you should navigate or how you can navigate your fitness journey when you're unwell. Now, it's person dependent, situation dependent. Some are going to be more severe than others in terms of the situation you might or the illness you might go through. However, these are just wee tips that might help you view your unwell periods a little bit better. Now, I know for one how hard it is when you become unwell. Like the other week there, obviously I had tonsillitis, and the thought of like not being able to train, like I get that that's hard. Will you turn that down? Sorry. I get that that's hard. However, short-term pain for long-term gain is something that we have to try and switch that mindset for. But what to do when you fall ill, and the reason I didn't pause this, by the way, to tell Leo to turn that down, was because last week I paused it twice and I was 8 minutes into a check-in and it fucking cancelled, so we're not making that mistake again. So what to do when you fall ill is often people do freak out when they become unwell unexpectedly, and they think, oh my god, all progress is going to be lost, oh my god, I can't go to the gym, the world has ended. I even feel that too. Or you can't do your normal routine. However, resting is what your body wants and needs during this time. When you are unwell, your body goes into a stress state, and we know that a stressed state, when cortisol is super high, your body becomes unresponsive. We also know that when you're training, your body is also in a stress state. So if your body is already stressed out and you're trying to train on top of that, your body's going to be like quadruple stress, which is not good at all. So when you fall ill, it can be the sign of a burnout. It can be just maybe a bug that's went about, but it's your body's way of telling you, slow down for a minute and rest and recover. So these are the top tips: is listen first and don't push. If you're dealing with, for example, high temperature, fatigue, infection, sickness, resting is priority. And not only that, is actually you have to think about other people as well. If you're going into the gym, which is probably one of the most germiest places you could go, if you're going in unwell, you're only going to spread that illness, right? So that's another thing to consider, is to not be selfish. And I know we don't think about it like that, but it's something that we should probably think about. Training through an illness can only prolong recovery and worsen symptoms. So, as I said, short-term pain for a few days of extra resting, days off for long-term gain. You're going to get back into the gym much quicker, back into your usual routine much quicker. So, as I said, when your body's ill, your body's under stress. Now, if you were to train on top of that, you're only going to increase the amount of stress that your body's under, and it's going to take a longer time for you to actually feel normal, feel like a human. One thing you can consider, again, is situation dependent, person dependent. Everyone recovers, at a different rate. Again, depending on what you're going through at that point, but everyone's immune system is different. Me personally, if I compare myself to Franny, obviously, like, men rip the piss out it if they become unwell, and they take a lot longer to recover. You've got to give them the whole feel sorry for you protocol. But me personally, I recover much faster than probably he does. But I would say the difference is in that is because I still keep up with the things I'm going to mention, whereas Franny would probably smash a McDonald's and a Mars bar. But isn't it funny, like, I always feel that whenever I become, like, when I said I had tonsillitis, Franny was like, oh, I actually had a sore throat the other day. Oh, no, you never. Anyway, another thing to consider is light movement over total sedentary. So if you feel that there's some sort of energy available to you, then try things like a gentle walk, stretching, mobility, or you could potentially do a deload session, but very light. Now, a deload session is going into the gym, very light weights, 2 sets on each exercise, 10 to 15, 12 to 15. You're just generally going for movement, for the mind, for your mental health, physical health, just to get the blood. This is going to allow circulation within the body and recovery without actually taxing the body out, okay? Another thing to also put in here is, say you do have an injury, right? Actually, you always find that the highest point of pain will be like when you wake up in the morning, because you've been totally sedentary for a chunk of time, sleeping in the one position. And this is when actually moving your body, when say you had a sore back, like moving your body, whether that's stretching, whether it's a gentle walk, is going to be so much more beneficial than just sitting on your bum and not moving and thinking that that's going to be the best way of best form of recovery. Actually, light movement is going to help. It's going to prevent your body from seizing up. It's going to get fluid. It's going to get blood pumping around your body. So these things, when you do become also injured, is actually these things here, light movement, is going to actually help you. Focus on the things you can control. So you might not be able to train, but that does not mean that you opt for then that all or nothing mindset. My favourite motto, and I say it all the time, control your controllables. Now, it might mean that you can hit 3 things, or it might mean that you can hit only 1 thing, but control what you can control. So these might look like your sleep and recovery, so trying to get good night's sleeps, your fluids, your nutrition, planning your week, journaling, gratitude, mindfulness, podcast, bath, read a book, whatever it is. It's not just your fitness journey is not just about you entering a gym. You can do, and it's about so much more. Staying mentally locked in. I also love Canva because I'm fucking digging this wee brain here. But stay mentally locked in. So use the downtime to reflect on your progress or to plan ahead. Maybe have a look at the goals you want to achieve. For example, say I was injured or I became unwell, right, okay, I'm going to plan out what am I going to do in my return, you know, what's my first week going to look like, what am I going to achieve this year, is there any high rocks, is there any running, like spend that wee bit of time that you've got extra where you're not at the gym, where you're not doing running, cardio, steps, spend that time planning something that you are going to do when you do feel better. Or maybe it's educating yourself on things that will help you, whether that's listening to podcasts, mindfulness, breathing techniques, YouTube journeys. I love looking and I get super inspired by watching like fitness influencers. One thing that always used to inspire me was watching CrossFit. There's loads of documentaries there was on like Netflix. No, it wasn't, it was Prime. We used to watch this during COVID, and I swear I'd watch it. It'd be like 12 o'clock at night because obviously I just had Leo, and I'd be like, yes, I want to fucking train now. So it is super motivating watching these kind of things, or maybe reading a book, whether that's educational or not. Again, it's just about controlling what you can control. Nourish to heal, and this one is super important. So when you're unwell, we all go into those feelings where we feel a bit sorry for ourselves, we feel sad, we're upset that we can't do our normal things, and what a lot of people do is they turn to food. They find comfort in that, whether that is, you know, an extra bar of chocolate, 5 bars of chocolate, a takeaway, whatever it may be. Like, a lot of people do turn to food as a way of trying to make themselves feel good. It's like a distraction. Now, what you need to remember is if you're turning to things like chocolates, donuts, McDonald's, there's actually not a lot of good nutritious values that come off the back of that. They're full of processed meats, processed foods, high carbs, high fats, and the wrong ones. Also like high sodium, again too much. But there's nothing like that's actually that good that come off the back of that. Therefore, it's actually not going to aid in any sort of nourishment or recovery. So nourishing your body with good shit, i.e. fruits, veggies, good sources of carbs, fats, protein, over takeaways and 10 cookies. Now, I don't mean that you're fucking got tonsillitis and you're trying to, cook all your meals and plan out, oh my god, I'm having 40 grams of oats and 10 grams of peanut butter. Like, I don't mean do that. You can intuitively eat. Like, okay, I'm going to have a bit of toast and some scrambled egg for my breakfast. Let's see if I can try and get that down. That's going to be more filled with good nutrients than if you were to smash a fucking egg McMuffin from McDonald's. Staying hydrated alongside your baseline supplementation is also good to help flush out toxins and boost the immune system. Double up on that vitamin C and you'll turn into a superhero. No, just joking, but obviously that's going to help. Again, supplements are not the fucking magic pill. You have to align it with absolutely everything else. And then rebuild it up gradually. So, say you've just had a full week off training, off your usual routine, your body's going to be a little more fatigued than normal. So this is why when you do return back to the gym, you need to switch the mindset and understand that you won't return back and lift in the same weights as before straight away. You won't go in and absolutely smash PBs. But this is why it's important to understand that you're going to rebuild that gradually over the first few sessions, and be aware that's how it's going to go. Wow, fucking straight to the point, Nicola. I done this on Saturday. I must have been on. Be aware that that's how it's going to go, okay? First couple of sessions, go in for movement. So you're going to go in to move the body, get the blood around, oxygen to the muscles, lower the weights down, and sets and reps if need be. So you might want to opt for 2 sets instead of 3. Instead of doing 8 to 10 reps, you might want to just go for 15 reps, no stress on it. But also monitor how your body responds. So when you feel like, okay, I can start to push up the weights from here, I can start to get more reps, I'm feeling good, then you can gradually climb that back up again, because only you're going to be able to know that. I could say to you, right, okay, let's now go up, let's start to push up the weights now, when you're like, my body actually doesn't feel that fresh. So it's about listening to your body. Shifting your mindset, so understand that this is a part of life. Like, these things are going to happen. You're going to fall ill, your kids are going to fall ill, it's inevitable, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But you need to understand that this does not take away any sort of progress. I know that sometimes it feels like, oh, this is uneasy, but it is going to happen. In fact, how I view it, so this is how I view it when I personally become unwell, but it's actually how much I value health and routine. So we all moan about, oh, I'm doing the same shit every day, but see that mundane everyday life, you take it for granted and you don't realise that until you fall ill or you can't do what you usually get to do, and you don't realise actually how much you need it and value it mentally, psychologically, physically, all aspects. You don't realise how much you actually take that for granted. So it is a chance to reflect, health awareness, and how important the basic things that you do on the daily, that actually means the most. People underestimate the daily shit that you do every single day, and honestly, it is the key to fucking success. So the next time you fall unwell, what are the key points? Control the things you can control, regardless if it's one thing or if it's 5 things. Be proud of that. Use the time to reflect and appreciate your everyday life. Plan for that point of return. What outfit you're gonna wear, what session you're gonna do, and focus on that next goal that you're chasing. Nourishment over comfort, so toast and scrambled egg over egg McMuffin. get some good shit into you, a bowl of grapes. Maybe you want a wee bit of chocolate, but don't go and smash 5 over having and have nothing else that day. Rest and recovery, that is the key to it. And take the things you don't usually get to do, i.e. slow down. Like, I know how hard it is, because during the week I'll always say to myself, oh, I can't wait for a long line Saturday, and I have ants in my pants, I cannot cope, but it is nice to slow down. Remember, a few days of rest doesn't hurt, and your body is going to thank you for it. So, to conclude, you're not going to lose any progress when you fall ill, and this is how to handle it. Happy Monday!